Welcome back. Our next guest is an author, entrepreneur, international public speaker, consultant, accelerated learning practitioner, and internet coach. He has worked with tens of thousands of individuals from over 100 nationalities in more than 45 different countries, sharing his know-how in more fields of peak performance, business development, and internet marketing. He is listed as the 237th most traveled human being in the universe. He is the co-organizer of the Unlimited Power Online Internet Marketing and Social Media Mega Conferences, known around the globe as the most exclusive internet marketing and social media events in the world. Launched initially in Dubai before spreading to the rest of the Mideast and Asia. Through his innovative strategies, combining human psychology and using the unlimited power of the internet, he has reinvented the way events and products are marketed in the region and around the world, making him sought after by corporations of all sizes. He's an advocate of creating internet literacy around the world, and that prompted him to write the amazingly useful website book, the most complete and up-to-date free resource guide available on the internet, achieving over 10,000 downloads on its first year after digital publication, and currently the most downloaded internet resource guide online. Please join me in welcoming my good friend, Ernesto Verdugo. Ernesto, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I can't tell you how much joy it brings me every time you and I get to share a stage together.
I'm delighted, Tyler. It's great that now we have to do it virtually. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about, the virtual world.
And I want to bring up, so you have, in the midst of a pandemic, done an incredibly cool pivot. I am a big fan of your new product and your new venture, the Toilet Paper Diaries. Please tell me how that came to be.
Well, exactly 5 days after the pandemic, we started thinking, what are we going to do? So I got together with my very good friend and partner, Dave Crane, there in Dubai. And what we started seeing was that everybody was very confused. And we saw that the people in the late night shows like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon, everybody was actually doing their shows from their home. And that led us to think, well, you know, right now they are facing a big challenge, which is they are not having an audience. This means that previously they were performers. They were actually performing on a stage with an audience. And this is very similar to what we do as speakers. We actually go into a stage and we perform for an audience, and we actually leave the feedback that we actually get with an audience. But right now, we are not anymore speakers. We are right now broadcasters. Now, this is a very important thing because, of course, now we take it. I mean, previously we were basically working with speakers, but right now we are working with everybody. Right now, this conference is being recorded in Zoom, which is now a tool that absolutely everybody needs to use. And the problem is most people feel very uncomfortable. In fact, just think about how many of these meetings actually start with, "Can you hear me? Are you there?"
It is. It's an interesting technological challenge right now to get all of that out. And I love what you said. I never actually clued into it until you just said it now. We've stopped being speakers and now we're broadcasters. That's incredibly insightful.
And I am sure that this is going to continue like this for a while. Right now, I was just looking at an infographic of how things are going to be changing and how we're going to go back to similar than what we had before. And it is expected that this is going to continue at least like this for the next 16 to 24 months. So right now, for example, the Major League Baseball had just announced that they're going to go back and play. They're going to have no audience, so there's not going to be any audience. They changed the rules. But what for me was very important to see that was that they were saying this is going to be applicable for the season in 2020 and 2021. Today, I was watching a live recording that Tony Robbins was actually doing for the event from Russell Brunson, which is going to be happening from tomorrow onwards. And the complete thing was in broadcasting. So it is absolutely critical for every single person which is in business, and this is not only for speakers. If you have a business and you do not master the art of broadcasting, you will have difficulties during the next couple of years. So that's why it's absolutely critical that we create broadcasting literacy, which is, I think, a new term, if you want to put it that way, that people need to understand so that they will be able to survive and thrive in the new virtual economy.
And without getting or leading your presentation too much, what is the number one thing that you've noticed that if you could wave a magic wand and have everybody know, what would that thing be when it comes to your broadcasting literacy?
That's an amazing question. The first thing is that you need to learn from broadcasters. Now you're not going to be learning from speakers. Most speakers, what they want to do is they want to lecture. They want to show what their information is. They want to share their knowledge, and that's great. But now what happens if you don't have an audience, you have to deliver your knowledge in a broadcasting way. So right now, let's try to think of some broadcasters. In my eyes, for example, one of the best broadcasters in the world. I mean, of course, if we go into the times of Walter Cronkite, that, of course, is taking ancient history. But let's bring it even a little bit further so that everybody in the audience will understand exactly who I'm talking about. Let's just talk about Oprah. Oprah has a ton of programs. I mean, she's a billionaire with her own network. She owns the letter O. So you just basically say O, and then you have O Magazine, you have the Harpo channel, you have all sorts of different things which actually have come from broadcasting. And what happens is that she delivers also knowledge and content, not in a training way, not in a speaking way, but basically by storytelling. And this is the most important thing that everybody needs to know. Storytelling is going to be incredibly important. And what happens is that most people do not really understand how to use the incredible use of video, which is right now the #1 medium. And what they do is they are doing podcasts where they do interviews. Sure, the interviews are fine. It's nothing wrong with them. But the problem is that everybody is doing it. What are you doing in order for you to actually be different, to show your products different, to actually come across as a more believable people? Now, the great thing about broadcasting is that because, of course, you're personalizing a little bit more, even though that you don't see the audience right now. I mean, it's only the two of us. I can see you, but there's a ton of people which are watching this presentation, and I cannot see them, but they can see me. But because of what I am actually saying and the way that I am saying it, they can connect with me a lot better. They can get to know me. Just think about it. I mean, you fall in love with the Trevor Noahs, you fall in love with the Stephen Colberts if you are into the late night kind of shows. If not, you fall in love with Oprah. You fall in love with these people because, of course, they're showing vulnerability. They're showing their human aspect. And that's what is very, very important in these times, for people to understand how the broadcasting world is going to actually be incredibly important. Now, if we go and we try to see, there's two kinds of videos that you're actually doing right now. You could be doing a live broadcast like we are doing right now, or you could do a YouTube video where people are going to watch you. Right now, one of the things that most businesses and most people do not understand, because they are not in that category of age category or generation, is that millennials and Generation Z have been in the virtual world a lot longer than we have. What does that mean? Just think about it. If you have kids, I can guarantee you that they're looking at their iPads and they are looking what YouTubers are doing. They could be gamers. They could be people doing tutorials for makeup, tutorials for cooking, tutorials for all sorts of things. And these guys are getting billions with a B of views. And that is even more powerful than actually even appearing on live television. So right now you have a great possibility on the toilet paper diaries, as you were mentioning a little bit earlier. Right now, we understood that there was a gap. And that gap was that we knew that everybody was going to go into webinars. We knew that everybody was going to go into Zooms. But what did we say? No, the people that we need to learn are the people which are into broadcasting. And right now, what we are doing with the Toilet Paper Diaries, which by the way is a weird name. I mean, I would have never expected that I was going to have a product or a program actually called after toilet paper. But you remember, I mean, the reason the time that when we were started was when there was this crazy toilet paper deficit in the world.
And we can always blame David Crane for the name, right?
That's correct. So we can always say that we can always blame him for the name. But anyway, what happens is, it's memorable. It sounds funny. And of course, what we are doing is we're putting education, but we're mixing it with music. We're mixing it with videos. We're mixing it with the real news, what's going on. So the idea is that if people are going to watch your lives or they're going to watch you, you are basically being companions. And that's one of the things that we learned throughout 50 days nonstop. We actually had a show at noon in Central Time in the United States, where we were basically talking about the news and having a laugh and just basically sharing, the companionship that we needed under lockdown. Right now, we changed the format and we are doing twice a week. We are doing a show which is open, more educational, and then we have another one that actually takes you further into getting to understand every single strategy and every single technique that we are using in order for us to come across as new leaders in this virtual world. Because that's what's happened. A lot of speakers, I mean, they were leaders and it was almost impossible to talk to them. But right now, because of all the everything what happened, everybody's trying to figure out the format. And I am not saying that this is the only format, but this is a format that everybody can actually replicate. So that is basically going into lives. Now going into videos, and this is where I think it's incredibly valuable. And this was, right now we're living in an age where we are learning from reverse mentoring. Now, what is reverse mentoring? Reverse mentoring is that we are learning from mentors which are younger than us. In the past, we used to learn from older mentors that were showing us the ropes on how to do stuff. Right now, think about who are the ones which are actually showing us the ropes. They are the kids. Right now, I am learning from my daughter, Nina. I am learning from my son, Vincent. And I am learning about what they are doing. I mean, my son, Vincent, is into gaming. So he's into Mr. Beast, and he's into PewDiePie, and all those gamers, which are really very powerful. And my daughter is a little bit more into Ariana Grande, into the makeup tutorials and that kind of thing. Now, what I started seeing was that both of them had some things in common. They basically have a specific format in how they were creating their videos. And I can tell you, absolutely nobody from our generation, and I'm talking about Generation X, and right now the baby boomers right now, for them, it's even an offense. I mean, you basically say, well, if you want to offend somebody from that age, all you say is, well, you're such a boomer. And that is just something, so for you to understand how important it is, understanding and basically taking reverse mentoring seriously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into my screen, and I'm going to show you some very easy to implement skills that you can actually do if you are putting together a YouTube channel. Because I understand every single thing that we are talking about is on personality. And you can say, you know what? I don't have the personality for possibly doing lives once a day, as you were doing. I don't have the personality of having a really high energy show. That's not me. I am a little bit more of an introvert. And I'm hearing you. But guess what? Gamers and all this younger generation, doesn't matter how they feel or what they think about, they are very easy. To replicate, because of course, it is a format. And I'm a firm believer that if you find a format, if you find a recipe and you follow the recipe, you will be able to be successful. So let's do something. Let me take you onto my screen, and I will show you some very valuable tips that you can do to start accelerating your success in YouTube. Have a look.
If you're a speaker, an expert, or you have a business online and you have a YouTube channel and you would like to get more views to your videos, what I'm going to be sharing with you is going to be very useful. So please pay attention and take some notes. Right now we are on the YouTube channel of one of our speakers, Frank Mulcahy. I was having a conversation with him this morning and he was telling me I would like to get more views and I would like to get more subscribers to my YouTube channel. And I saw that on the Fast Forward show, you were actually talking about to do that. So I really look forward to watch that video. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to subscribe on the toiletpaperdiaries.com so that you can actually get yourself to watch those videos. So I'm going to give you some very easy to implement tips that you need to have on your YouTube channel. Here we go. So the first thing that I want you to notice is here it looks very nice. I mean, he has a very nice picture of him. There he is as a picture that we took in the World Trade Center in Dubai, and that's a nice picture. It makes it look nice. However, it's not actually fulfilling the purpose of what you want in YouTube. Let me tell you what I am talking about. If you go to the website of Speak in Dubai, or the YouTube channel of Speak in Dubai, what you're gonna see is that we have the different logos of what we are doing. We say here what this is all about, and we have here the website where we want to send people to. So as you can see, all this makes a difference right away. Plus, of course, we are asking people to subscribe. Now, when you change this, of course, immediately when people arrive, they know, oh, okay, I know what this is all about. Not only they see a picture of myself or whatever it is, and instantly they say, okay, I think this is interesting. Now, the second thing that we can see is that I have here my most prominent video, or the video which is going to be a welcome to my channel. And here it's going to start playing automatically when people arrive. If we go to Frank's website, to Frank's channel, we can see that there's no video like that. So adding that video there is going to be very easy, and it is very easily done if you just go to the settings on your YouTube channel. Now, next thing that I want to show you is that he has a ton of videos, but hardly any of these videos has a thumbnail. So if I see him, if I see this video, I am not compelled to actually click on the video. But if the thumbnail, which is the little picture which is here, basically says what this video is about, there's a highly likely possibility that someone or myself are going to click on it. Here I'm not going to click because I do not know what the video is about. I don't want to waste time. So as you can see, if we go to another channel, which of course has a ton of traffic and a lot of clicks, you can see that every single one of the videos that they have here has a thumbnail. Can you see? Use these signals. It makes you curious. It's compelling. Start doing this. It's compelling. Once again, he's using this. Start doing this. Start doing this. Don't say this. Can you see why this is completely different to what we were talking about a little bit earlier? Now let's go back into Frank's channel. If we click here in the video that he has the most views, which is 1,200 views, we click here to the video, and we can see that he has a very, this is his reel. It is fantastic. We created, so of course we're very proud of that. But let me just show you a couple of things that you're going to find very interesting. If we go to the very end of the video, he has where he could be contacted. So Frank Mulcahy, and he has here his website, and he has his email, and he has his telephone number. That's fine. But how can you improve views by having this? Well, just look at this here. There's nothing here and there's nothing here. Well, what should I be looking for? Let me show you. So let me bring you back to the Speak in Dubai channel, which, by the way, please go see it at youtube.com/Speak in Dubai, and please subscribe. That's going to be very useful for us. That's the way that you can support us. So let me just click here on a random video. I mean, let me just, as you can see here, in all the videos I have thumbnails. Now let me just click on this random video. So just one of the random videos that we have. As you can see here, there's two elements that were not in Frank's website. That's the subscribe button, and that's also the information cards button. Now, what happens if I click this button here? Look at this. It immediately recommends me other videos, which of course that makes it more compelling for people to keep on binge watching your channel. And look at this one. I have a subscribe button on every single one of my videos, which makes it easier for people to subscribe to your channel. Can you see how these two tips can really help you? Well, we're going to continue doing that on Wednesday episode of the Toilet Paper Diaries, and also more in depth on how to improve your YouTube channel inside of Fast Forward. So make sure to go to toiletpaperdiaries.com and subscribe, because this information is going to be very valuable for you.
Ernesto, thank you so much for that. That was really, really insightful. And one of the things that I liked the most about that presentation was when you were talking about the subscribe button. And I'll tell you a story, because let's face it, story is powerful, and that's what we want to start becoming as storytellers. My daughter, as you had said, we're doing that reverse tutoring. She is on YouTube all the time. She's 4 years old, coming up 5, electronics. And to her, she wants to like and subscribe when she finds that person that entertains her, because the really smart YouTubers, as you pointed out, ask for that like and subscribe. And so it's funny to me, because she'll be like, I will watch a video for me for educational purposes, and she'll be like, don't forget to like and subscribe, Daddy. I'm like, who are you, and why are you asking me to do this? Because it's so ingrained in her, because she watches so much. But that's how those really powerful YouTubers grow their audience. So thank you. So it was one of those things that I didn't even think of until you pointed it out in your presentation. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, and it's really simple. It's absolutely simple. But most people go into their content without forgetting that the reason why they're actually getting this done is because, of course, they want to gain an audience. Because the moment that you gain an audience, and the moment that you get, YouTube has 3 different milestones, which everybody should be actually looking for. The first milestone, and this is something that I learned from my daughter Nina also, the first milestone, you need 100 subscribers, because the moment that you get to 100 subscribers, you will be able to have a customized channel. So for example, you don't have to be YouTube XY345, whatever. You will have your name, youtube.com/your name. And that is actually the first milestone. And for that, you need 100 subscribers. The second milestone is you need to have 1,000 subscribers. And then they invite you to be a possible, they don't actually tell you, okay, that's what you're going to be. You are going to be a possible content partner. And then the third one, which is the most difficult of it all, is to get 4,000 hours of viewership. The moment that you actually have 4,000 hours of viewership, what happens is that you become a content partner, and then they pay you some small cents for every time that your video is actually watched. So just think about, there's some people that have 1 billion views. And that's exactly what you actually should be striving for, not for 1 billion views, but actually to become a content partner. Because the moment that you get a content partner, then you don't have a YouTube channel. You actually have an asset. And every single day that I think of that was actually also told to me by my daughter Nina. It says, well, why are you wasting so much time in creating websites? If you create a website, you don't have traffic by itself. You have to actually bring people to your website, and you have to put together a very long letter, and you have to do a lot of things. However, if you have a channel that it's already a content partner, what's going to happen is that you're going to be receiving income on a daily basis. And the money that is actually there in YouTube to be made, it's insane. The moment that you see YouTube as a broadcasting company and not as a social media company, because that's how we in Generation X and also in the boomers, they see it as a social media stuff. No, it is broadcasting company. It is like ABC, CBS, BBC, NBC, whatever you want. It's a broadcasting company, and they're giving you the opportunity and the possibility of actually creating content that you're going to be paid for. And that's what is incredibly powerful.
It's the original tagline of YouTube, broadcast yourself. So I think it's a very an eye-opening reemergence of what YouTube is. As you said, they're a broadcaster, not social media. And I know you had mentioned too that, if you don't feel that you have the personality to maybe be broadcasting, you're not pizzazz and jazz, there's still value in putting your intellectual property out there, because you don't know what niche somebody is interested in. I know I look at drumming technique. That's usually the thing that I'm looking up, is drummers who are showing interesting drum fills so that I can learn how to drum better. And one of my favorite channels, like I don't subscribe to a lot of channels myself, but I know Mark Rober, who's a scientist. I think he's a physicist and teaches high school physics, but he does really cool experiments, and he's not flashy with it, but he has a style that he's developed and figured out. And so I would encourage, as you have, anybody who's watching this right now to at least give it a shot. Try starting to broadcast, and as you said, to get in the mind of broadcasting.
And you know what is really amazing is that when you go to YouTube, and that also was taught to me by my daughter Nina. I mean, right now, I mean, she's really my number one teacher. She was telling me, well, you know, you can find out actually who's watching your videos. So you go a little bit to the analytics on YouTube, and you can see who's exactly the people which are watching your videos. And then what happens is that you can see exactly what is the kind of message that you can deliver to them, and your personality is going to match someone else's personality. You don't have to be the flash in the pan. You don't have to be the influencer. You don't have to be the most eloquent person. I mean, even somebody with an accent like I have, and somebody that is not completely fluent in a language, there's a market for it. And what is really incredible is that as long as you understand who's actually watching your videos, you will be able to provide a lot of content. And what is even nicer than anything is if you mix it a little bit with the news, if you mix it a little bit of the current affairs of what is going on, then you start also getting instant traffic. Why? Because of course it's trending. And the moment that you upload a video which is referencing a topic which is actually trending, you instantly start getting more viewers. And whatever it is, we also become curators. We also become a little bit like like DJs in the past. I mean, in the DJs, they were not music creators. Of course, I mean, afterwards came the Dutch DJs that they were creating their own music. But in the past, I mean, a DJ basically had a record and he was playing a record from one person, then mixing it with someone else and mixing it with someone else until they had a great party. But right now, what is incredibly powerful so that you can really also start implementing it, what you can do is basically comment on what is going on in the current affairs. So right now we're living in a world where we came out of the pandemic and we are getting all these racial things happening. Well, right now the Black Lives Matter thing, it's something which is very strong. Now, you don't have to agree or disagree. You can basically say, well, you know, this is what happened. This is what happened. You can link it to what you're doing. You can talk about all the different things and take bits and pieces from other YouTube videos, and you will be able to always be current. And it doesn't matter if those content pieces are not evergreen, but what happens is that there will still be people that will watch it afterwards. And what is also super, super interesting is that YouTube gives you the possibility, and this is what most people are very afraid of. Well, you know, if I take the content from someone else's channel, then they're going to think that I am stealing and I'm going to get a strike, or I'm not going to be really working very well with YouTube. Well, you know, the fact that you're actually commenting and including some other videos from some other people and basically talking about them, that falls into the category of fair use. Mind you, I am not a legal counsel, so be careful with what you're doing. However, you will be able to incorporate someone else's video into your own videos and then create this DJ effect. So that's why, for me, the most important skill that you need to grow, it doesn't matter what your business is. It doesn't matter if you're a speaker. It doesn't matter if you're a restaurant. It doesn't matter if you have a spa. The most important skill that you need to develop right now in the virtual economy is video editing. You need to know it. It's absolutely critical, because that's exactly what's going to start giving you the clout and the power that you require in order for you to actually start creating those video assets that we were talking about.
Well, Ernesto, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be on the summit with us. This has been just a joy listening to you talk, and I've got 1,000 ideas running through my head right now. So I'm going to jump off and start to implement some of that right now. thank you so much for giving us your time and for putting together such a wonderful presentation. I thank you very, very much for being here.
My pleasure.